Hey y'all, I just wanted to get back on for a few minutes. Um, I almost didn't do this video today because I had some things that were disappointing that happened to me today. I don't feel the best today. Um, but the Holy Spirit was like, "Girl, get up. You have something to do." And I'm gonna talk about just that. Being put in situations where you are disappointed, or things didn't go your way, or things didn't go the way you expected them to go. um the devil will use those experiences to try to knock you off your game. He will put you in a place of sadness. He will put you in a place of worry. He will put you in a place of depression. He will put you in a place of anxiety, and he will put you in a place of unrest. I want to encourage the person that is going through this exact thing to get up. It doesn't matter what you're feeling and what you see, you have a purpose. You need to get up and you need to push forward. You need to continue doing what it is that you were setting out to do. For instance, my goal is to reach as many people as I can through my experiences and help them to become better people through my journey. Because I am a firm believer that if you see somebody else going through the things that you've gone through or that you're going through, and they are coming out on the other side, or they have come out on the other side, then it'll give that person hope to keep pushing and to keep going, and to help them to understand that it's not always darkness. And I'm not saying that my life right now is darkness, because it's not, but it has been. There have been times where I didn't want to get out of bed. And at the time, I had a 5-year-old daughter that I needed to raise. And I had a son who was still in my stomach. I was pregnant with him. I was going through a lot during that time, and I fell into this deep, deep, dark depression. Um, and it took my mom coming into my room telling me to get up. Like, she had to remind me that I still had work to do. I still had a daughter that needed me right then. I still had to take care of my health because I was carrying another human being. So, I mean, yeah, you're going to come into those times where you don't want to, but you have to have the will, and you have to speak the positivity over your life. Like, for instance, if you are going through financial crisis where your finances don't align with your bills, everybody's been there, everybody's done that, and it doesn't stay that way all the time. But when you're going through it, you have these thoughts of, why am I going through this? How am I going to pay this, or how am I going to pay that, or where am I going to get the money from, or who can I call? Like, you go into this whole unrest, this depression, this worry, this anxiety filled lifestyle, this world for a minute. And I'm learning that in those instances that you cannot allow the devil to filtrate your mind, because that is exactly what he's doing. When he sees that you are in a financial situation, and I use that because that's the most common. If you're in a financial situation and you don't know how to pay your bills, he tells you more and more that you can't, because every time you try to go get a loan, or every time you ask somebody to borrow the money and they tell you no, he pounds on you more. That's just like hitting the nail on the head. Oh, this loan company said no. Boop. This loan company said no. Boop. This family member said I don't have it. Boop. You're falling more and more and more into depression. But I'm telling you, in those instances, you have to get into your word. You have to speak life over those situations. You have to tell yourself that God is your provider. You have to tell yourself that you live an abundant life. You speak abundance over every situation, and you tell yourself that everything that you're going through in that moment is working out for your good. Everything. And you denounce Satan in that moment. When you learn to realize that he is using this situation to trigger you into coax you into doing what he wants you to do, which is fall into the depression, be mad, be upset, be in tears, crying. What you're doing is attracting more of that situation to you. When you learn how to figure that out and detect it before it really happens, then that's when you know you got one up on the devil. Trust me, when you do that, he's going to leave you alone, because guess what? You're not giving him the reaction that he's expecting you to have. When we sit down and we get depressed and we cry about it, and we start calling our girls talking about, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't have nobody to help me, and I don't know why God is taking me through this. Girl, bye. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Start putting the phone down. Start getting in your word and start speaking life over that situation, because the Bible also tells us that life and death is in the power of our tongues. If we stop and think about the words that are coming out of our mouths, our situations won't even last that long. They won't last that long. Yes, you are going to have to go through some things, because when we go through our situations, there's a lesson in that. There's a lesson in everything that we do. And I'm learning to ask God when I'm going through a hardship, like even right now in this moment, I'm going through something right now, and I'm speaking from my heart, because I know what is happening. The devil is trying to knock me off. He tried to keep me off this video. He tried to just make me feel like the world was about to end. Nope, not today, devil. I got something to do. I have something to do. I have a purpose to fulfill, and I'm going to do it. And in this moment, he's mad at me, because I could be sitting in my house right now, leaning up on the wall from the chair or whatever, with my head back, looking pitiful, about to cry. Nope, not gonna do it. Not going to do that anymore. I've done it too much and too long. It has delayed me from my blessings. They're still going to come, but I did that myself, because I allowed the enemy to work through me. He used me as a vessel to not fulfill what is needed by God. And I'm no longer going to do that. So I want you guys to know that no matter what you're going through, yes, it's hard, it's rough, but it's not in vain. When it's the hardest times in your life, that's when it counts the most. When you're going through hardships and you have goals to reach that you have set, you have a plan and a vision that you have been looking towards and looking at, and you know the steps that need to be taken to get to that goal. In the hard times is when it's gonna count the most. You have to understand that God is not leaving you. Yes, he allows some of these things to happen, because in a lot of instances, y'all, he allows these things to happen because he's already told us not to do certain things, and we do it anyway. So he's like, okay, well, since you want to be hard-headed, I'm gonna let this happen to you. What lesson are you gonna learn from this? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you gotta be cognizant of what you're doing, and you always have to be in a frame of mind of prosperity and abundance and happiness and joy and peace and love, even when it hurts. Because if you don't, you're going to attract all of the negativity, all of the hurt, all of the pain, all of the unrest and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. All of that stuff comes when we continue to harvest and harp on the negative things that are happening in our lives. So I'm just really encouraging you guys today to take it from me. I'm giving you real life, real time examples. And I'm going to be blessed because I got up and did what God told me to do. instead of sitting down in my chair and harping on what didn't happen. Guess what? It's gonna happen. Whatever need that I need met is gonna happen. It just didn't happen the way that I wanted it to happen. It didn't happen the way that I saw it happening. Because guess what? God's thoughts are not my thoughts. So guess what? I would rather deal with the way he thinks about it, even if that takes me through a rough moment, because I know on the other side of it is greatness. So I would rather go through his route than to sit back and harp on why my route didn't work. So just take that into consideration and think about what I'm saying to you guys. I'm praying and I'm hoping that everybody is having a wonderful 2025 so far. Until we meet again.